So, concrete rubbles. Let's see the renders. Okay, and this is going to be on Substance Designer 6. Okay, since it's the new one that just came out. And I think you could just follow it on 5 if you haven't upgraded yet. Okay, and yeah, I think we're only going to use the curve node at this point, and you can circumvent that. I think it's not like that much needed. Okay, so concrete rubble, you can see nothing. I think we're going to work with a lot of nice shapes and a lot of nice coloring. Okay, these are the 4 renders. Of course, you can download it. If you go into my pattern page, you can download it, the substance from there, and follow along, or try to make it from here. Okay, and also feel free to support me there if you like what we're doing. So, and we're going to use and reuse the first, so this up till here, before we see the curve node and the tile random. We've seen this on last week's video, which has to do with creating, and also found another bug. Okay, so you can see I have a problem over here. Anyway, and yeah, so what basically this is our creation, the creation of our base shape or our base rock, and for some reason something doesn't want to work. Let's put it like this, and now this also doesn't work. So okay, so back again. Now, as I said, the base shape of a rock. So what I'm going to do is start with the shape node and blur it a little bit, or a lot more, so that we can get rid of some of these striations. You can see that it kind of pops this out. Anyway, you can go without this node. Then we're going to add a gradient linear on top of this. So we're using mid darken, and we get this kind of the wedge shape of this, of the rock. And we're going to get a crease node, class 2, blend this together with multiply. Okay, and we're going to use that as our directional warp, and we start breaking apart our rock. Now we're going to use the new node, which is in Substance Designer 6, and I've only used it to get a little bit more of, you can see the wedge a little bit over here. Okay, it's nothing major, you can go without this. There's no really a need for the curve node. I'm just using it so that it shapes a little bit better the rock. Then I'm going to use a tile random, and we're going to get something like this. I actually didn't change any of the settings. It was just a copy paste of from the previous substance. Okay, because this works just fine. And what I did also is run it through a transformation 2D, rotate it around, making it a little bit smaller, because I want to get to start creating these little small rock shapes. Okay, and since we already had this shape, okay, why not reuse it? And so we're getting all of this. And depending on the color you have on your dirt, you can make it like if you smooth it out, it can make it look like a rock, or you can gray it out so that it looks more than actual concrete. I just used different colors because let's face it, just looks better. Okay, but in reality probably you will see more of the same color, something like gray, but gray color, just seeing a gray color is not always that interesting. So that's about the color. So what we have is basically our big rubble and the small pebble sized rubble. we're going to create a mask, so why not use a clouds to node, levels, okay, isolate a few areas. I didn't want a lot of them. You can of course create a lot of them, and I'm going to use multiply, and you can see where we start getting the little shapes, and we're going to blend them together with min darken, and we can even go probably even more, I believe, and it will start making the smaller shapes pop even more. Like you can see them when they are far away, but I don't necessarily like that it flattens all the others, so I'm just going to hit Ctrl Z and go back, so we even get a little bit more dirt. Okay, after that basically our height is ready, so we'll leave it at that. And then I'm also having ready my normal map, which the first pass at least, which has intensity of 20. Okay, so we are ready with this, and we can start adding microsurface. So for microsurface, I'm using freckles and base, you can see, with min darken, so it goes and adds the information on top of our basically just crunches everything down, as you can see. Then slow brew grayscale from a Pelinoid zoom. Okay, this is exactly the same as in the previous week, and we're blending this together with max lighten. And after that I'm using black and white spots 1, okay, more spots, and we subtract of that, add it on normal mode, or on normal node. Okay, intensity is on 2, combine them and add them, and you can see that that's all we need. Of course you can keep adding stuff, but I think, yeah, for the look I was going, I think this worked just fine. Okay, like even on high resolutions that, and yeah, I have turn this off, and let's bring this down a bit. Okay, like I didn't want to just keep adding all that noise, so it just reads even no matter how close we are, how far away. So yeah, I think we are done, because we can keep adding hints of microsurface from the coloring instead of adding it on the actual normal map. Before we see the color, let's see, and of course always from the normal map we're going to create a curvature smooth. You can see the nice curvature we have over here, and then ambient occlusion, which we're going to create the dirt. Now you can use a new ambient occlusion which isn't I think was ray traced. You can use this ambient occlusion which isn't from 6, but it was from the previous version, from an update, I think 5.6, and but it takes way longer to calculate, and I'm also not entirely sure why this happens, although we probably can try some stuff. Anyway, okay, dirt map and edge damages. I really didn't change anything, so this is all the default, because I kinda knew, like, you know, there's no controlling this chaos, so why bother? And from over here I'm working with the roughness, so I just took a clouds 1, add linear dots on top of what we already had, and you can see, okay, everything is pretty rough, as you can see, and we add it over here. And because we have so nice information with the color, this actually looks like it's a photo, okay, so that to me it looks like it's photo scan, even though it's not photo scan. We've created. As always, the metallic is over here, and if you want to be more, more organized than I am, then you can do this. So you get that little of optimization. So we have everything. Let's see the color. Now for the color, I wanted to kind of break away from using the grayscale of this. So again, what I did is run this, which is after we have added well, basically this is after we have added the microsurface, I'm just turning this into a gradient map, and I'm going to work a color from the clouds 1 node. You can see my gradient map. Okay, this is over a rock, not the rock, just a rock. Okay, and I'm blending it with subtract from this. Okay, and you can see that we get something that starts to look like a marble, so that it's interesting, or like concrete, so you get these nice variations into the color. And okay, you can see the change. After that, I'm going to add the white spots, and what I did is hue, saturation, lightness on top of this. Okay, just raise the lightness a bit, and we're blending them together. And where the spots will go, we're using black and white spots 1, levels, and add this as a mask. You can do, of course, the opposite. Use subtract, so you'll get even more dirtier rocks. Okay, but this again might be a little bit too extreme. And if you add linear dots, you can see that it might be popping too much, although I kind of like that it's more contrasty. So let's scale it down a little bit. Yeah, this will be enough. Okay, and after that, it's basically adding the edge damages from over here. The color again from clouds 1, running through a gradient map. This is another color, this is another stone, I believe, from the same photo too. Okay, you can see very little color. We do not need that much, and we're blending them with add linear dots. And of course you can do copy, which in this case won't change anything. Let's try the other ones. Oh, and yeah, this is it's damages, that's why it doesn't really do much. So let's just keep it to add linear dots. You can see that it gets we get this nice where the rock is supposed to break. We get this nice highlight. So we are popping up, you can see this nice line. We're popping our shapes even more. And after that, I'm going to use hue, saturation, lightness, lower the lightness and the saturation a bit from the first gradient, or you can create another gradient, it won't matter. And I'm going to use that as my dirt. Okay, so we are here. You can add copy, and as I said, you can either add linear dots. Okay, way more like concrete, like there's too much dust on top of it. Again, you might want to get rid of this though, of these two black spots, so it makes a little bit more sense. And if we start raising it, obviously it's going to pop even more. You can again do subtract or multiply, and you can get entirely different views. Max lighten, min darken, And of course I have not forgot what I had. We had just copy. Okay, and you can lower this also a little bit, and something like this isn't half bad. Okay, and this is the color map, and we can use a curve node. You can see that this is just a little bit. If you do not have Substance Designer 6, you can do this also in Photoshop, so it's not really a problem if you render it, of course. And I think I want this on full back again. Okay, curve node, it's nothing. It's like the curves on Photoshop. Okay, this is really handy. You can see that you can work with your colors so easy. If you unlock them also, you can control them a little bit better. You can add more lines. So with this you can get so much you can get so many both on the color, but if you use it on a grayscale, which is where all the fun can be. So for example, okay, well, the substance is done. Okay, after the curve node you just output the base color. So let's see a little bit the curve node, since it's a new one on Substance Designer 6 and we have a bit of time. So let's do something else. Let's take a shape. Let's take a paraboloid. Okay, before we will be doing we'll be multiplying and adding more shapes and other stuff and other blend nodes on top of this to get something that looks interesting. Now if we add a curve node, we can start getting some more shapes. Okay, you can see what we can get just by adding only one node. And we can keep adding so many more like this. Let's add like this. I'm basically just playing right now. Okay, I'm not really doing anything or have anything planned, but you can see that you can get so many profile, like beveling your shapes like this way easier. And you could do this also in Substance Designer 5, but it's not that intuitive. So for example, if we wanted to do something like the same, you could just do it like this, but you can see there's a lot of guesswork in the okay. So even if you are on Substance Designer 5, you can still do the same thing with the curves, but it's a little bit harder. And there's also, oops, oh yeah, we can interpolate too. And if we added this, and this is probably a bad idea, but let's add a normal node. And let's add 20. And yeah, I don't actually want to add this into this substance. So yeah, let's make another one. Whatever, we do not care. And let's copy paste. And let's output the normal, and let's output the height. Okay, and you can see the nice profile you can get on your shapes with the addition of the nice specularity on this point. Okay, in contrast to something like this. Okay, this is a little bit way more harder, especially to get these areas to fix, you know, areas that are like this, so you'll get less noise from something like this, from the curves node also. And of course we can just change and keep adding profiles just like that. And let's put this to the top. Let's make something like looks like this. Okay, obviously this is just a sphere. You can imagine that with the ceiling designer you can do even more. The ceiling designer was also made an appearance, I don't know how, probably entirely by accident, but it made an appearance on the trailer for Substance Designer 6, which kinda made me pretty happy, to be honest. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of new stuff from what I've seen inside Substance Designer 6, which I haven't yet had the time to play with all of them. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to play with them and I'll let you know what I find. Anyway, okay, there's no need to drag this anymore. We are over 20 minutes. The actual substance we've seen was this. Ignore the rest of stuff. Okay, and yeah, hit that like, subscribe. If you like what I'm doing, then consider supporting me on Patreon. I'm also might be a little bit more relaxed with the schedule. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to keep making them every week. I want to have them every week, but you know, if I feel that I'm dragging and doing all the same stuff every week, yeah, I don't see the point of that. Okay, yeah, so I want to also cover some other stuff. Obviously, Substance Painter, we're going to do some stuff there when it's time, but there yeah, I need more time to prepare 3D models to paint on Substance Painter. Okay, I don't know when, but yeah, basically if you don't see a video a week, that doesn't mean I'm just preparing something, or you know, I want to sharp my skills even too. Okay, so we get something fresher and fresher. Now I don't know if I'm not going to make one next week. I'm probably going to make one, okay, because these are fun to make, but I'm just saying that, you know, if I skip a week, it's no big deal. So I'll see you next time.